was born and raised Catholic. I'm a family practice physician here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All through my Catholic upbringing, there was little nuances talking about natural family planning. But as I progressed through my schooling, went into medical school, went into residency, there really was no mention of natural family planning. It was all a very contraceptive mentality. So for whatever you were treating, there was a birth control pill or a contraceptive that would help any female reproductive issue. Even in my marriage prep prior to getting married, we had good premarital education. However, I and my wife don't recall anything that was spoken about natural family planning and what the church really teaches about it. So when I moved into my family and into my practice after residency, of course, as most physicians, I was contracepting myself, my family, and my practice. And I always thought that with juggling the birth control pills and different contraceptives with the problems that they were causing, that I just figured it was a necessary evil. However, when I got into Sioux Falls and started teaching abstinence in the school system and started working with premarital education for the couples, I was being challenged with what I thought and what I should be presenting on natural family planning. That also happened to be about the time when we had conceived our fourth child, and we decided there's probably enough children for us. And with my background in medicine, again with the contraceptive mentality, I was considering the possibility of permanent sterilization or other kinds of contraception. We had a wonderful Bishop Carlson at that time and a strong family life minister at that time that were trying to convince me otherwise. Bishop Carlson at that time was really trying to get the Creighton model introduced into this part of the diocese. And very reluctantly, I said I would go to the training. And the training consisted of 2 in-depth weeks, one in the fall, one in the spring. And I reluctantly went to the first one, and within 2 days I was convicted that I knew I was in the wrong and that I would never contracept myself, my family, or my practice again. And when I came back, I figured that I'd done something really good, convincing myself of this. Realized at the time that I got back that the parish of Guadalupe here had been doing a novena to help me through this decision-making process. So it wasn't all me by any means. So during that process of education and realization, I realized that I was only half right. Contraception is not necessary, but definitely can be evil. Pay attention to some of the few lines at the end of the commercials on TV or any ads in the papers or in the magazines. There will be saying things like serious side effects may include blood clots, stroke, and death. Really? And they also state that it does not protect you against STDs or other infections. So what good are they? Well, the side effects often include weight gain, irritability, decreased sex drive, and generally cause more acne than they would ever treat. Contraception, which means against life, uses chemicals sometimes 50 to 500 times more potent than any chemical produced naturally in the female body. It works basically in 3 ways, trying first to fool the body into believing it is pregnant so it doesn't ovulate. If that doesn't work, well, now you have ovulation, you have an egg. The second way in which it tries to work is to try and corrupt the communication between the sperm and egg so they can't get together and cause conception. And if that doesn't work, as sometimes it doesn't, you have conception. The third way it works is to try and make that wonderful womb a volatile environment. So when that conceptus enters the womb, it is not allowed to implant into the lining of the uterus, thus forcing it to leave prior to its time, which is abortion. And that is the biggest thing that the Catholic Church has against contraception. It's the fact that we are trying to do whatever we can to create a situation where the child does not come to term. Natural family planning, on the other hand, as some people would say, is just the Catholic contraception. Far, far from that. The natural family planning never harms the woman or the family. It cooperates with the natural bodily function of the woman and the man. There are no harmful chemicals, thus it's medically safe. If there's any true side effect of this method is that the husband and wife will actually become closer because it compels them to communicate in a much deeper way. In that, respects, even elevates the dignity of women and the role that she has in the family. Also shares the responsibility between husband and wife of this decision to conceive or not. And in doing that, again, creates that wonderful communication between husband and wife. And this is very inexpensive. A lot of people will think that birth control pills or contraception isn't expensive, so they have to pay something for it every month. There's all kinds of potential drug interactions that can disable the birth control pill, or the birth control pill can disable the other medications. The patient has to be in the office at least once a year to get the physical examination, not only because we're just watching health, but we're watching what can the doctor be doing to harm the woman. And so the annual physical exam is to prove that we're not causing serious harm with the contraception. And so this method would allow you to eliminate the copay on any medication for the month, would allow you better insight into what your body is doing, and allow you to only be seen maybe every 3 years for the physical as opposed to every year. So less time off work, less expenses all around. So it works to respect the dignity of marriage in putting those two together in a faith-filled relationship that they cooperate with each other. It works to identify the true fertility of the woman and the couple, and better than any means in the mainstream medicine. Natural family planning cooperates with the wishes of the family in avoiding pregnancy, which can be about 99.5% effective at avoiding a pregnancy temporarily, or then when they want to achieve, within 1 month, about 76% of the time they're conceived. That's family planning. Contraception is family avoiding, which you have to stop for at least 3 months, if not 6, to try and let that female reproductive system get back online by itself, during which they have to do something. For if they become pregnant during that time, they have a higher risk of miscarrying, or at least not bringing that baby to a full term and having a premature labor and delivery, causing all kinds of extra cost on the family and on the child, certainly. So the natural family planning encourages a much deeper communication between husband and wife, thus decreases the separation divorce rate to somewhere below 4% in couples that are using a natural means of family planning, compared to the 50+% in society. So it really helps the couple work through all reproductive issues to accomplish the goals that they would like. There is a better way. There's a better way for yourself as a female. There's a better way for your family as husband and wife. There's a better way for your medical care. There's a better way to tie all these things together. I've been on the other side as well. I know the downfalls of contraception. All of those can be eliminated by approaching the natural family planning aspect of your relationship with yourself and with your husband.